Hey Vikings fans, what's up? Grab your purple gear and lean in close, because today's Minnesota Vikings news hits right at the heart of the franchise. This is one of those moments where rumors finally turn into reality, and the impact could shape the entire 2026 season. Stay with me because what just became official might be just as important as any big-name signing. Here's the teaser you need to hear. Brian Flores is staying in Minnesota. After weeks of interviews, speculation, and nervous refreshes on social media, the answer is finally clear. The defensive mind behind one of the NFL's most feared units is not going anywhere. So the big question is simple and powerful. What does Brian Flores staying really mean for the Vikings? And how does this decision change the future of this team? Let's break it down together, step by step, fan to fan. First off, let's talk about the confirmation itself. Brian Flores' return as the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator for 2026 is now essentially locked in. After agreeing to a contract extension with the Vikings, the last remaining threat was the Pittsburgh Steelers' head coaching search. Flores was a serious candidate there, interviewing twice and even making it to an in-person second interview. That alone tells you how highly respected he is around the league. Teams don't bring you back twice unless they truly believe in your vision. But then the news dropped, and it changed everything. The Steelers decided to go in a different direction, hiring Mike McCarthy as their new head coach. With that move, the door officially closed on Flores leaving Minnesota this offseason. And let's talk about that moment from a Vikings fan perspective. When the Steelers news broke, it felt like a collective sigh of relief across Vikings Nation. No more guessing, no more what-ifs. Brian Flores was staying put. This also explains the timing. It's very possible Flores sensed where things were heading after his second interview, which helped accelerate talks with Minnesota. The result? Stability, continuity, and confidence for the Vikings defense. And unless another team comes completely out of nowhere, which at this stage is extremely unlikely, Flores will be back on the sidelines in purple for at least one more season. That alone is massive news. Now zoom out for a second and look at the bigger coaching landscape. Flores was not just interviewing randomly, he was part of a very competitive hiring cycle. Multiple teams were searching for leadership, culture, and defensive identity. In the end, those teams chose different paths, and Flores' pursuit of another head coaching opportunity will have to wait. This marks the second straight cycle where he's interviewed but stayed in Minnesota. That waiting game isn't about a lack of talent. If anything, it highlights how complex Flores' situation is around the league. His resume is strong, but external factors have clearly played a role. There's no ignoring the context. Flores' lawsuit against the NFL and the behind-the-scenes drama from the end of his Miami Dolphins tenure still linger in league circles. Fair or not, those elements may be slowing his return to a head coaching chair. But here's the flip side, and this is where Vikings fans should smile. Minnesota benefits directly from that delay. While other teams hesitate, the Vikings get to keep one of the sharpest defensive minds in football. And let's talk results because this isn't just hype. Over the last 2 seasons, the Minnesota Vikings defense has ranked top 3 in the NFL in opponent EPA per play. That's elite, not just good. Flores' scheme is aggressive, complex, and fearless. It confuses quarterbacks, creates pressure from unexpected angles, and puts players in positions to succeed. You've seen it every Sunday. Under Flores, multiple players have had career-best seasons. Linebackers look faster, defensive backs play more confident, and the entire unit moves like one organism. That doesn't happen by accident. That's why the Vikings are thrilled to have Flores back for a 4th year as defensive coordinator. And honestly, there's growing belief inside the fan base that this partnership could last even longer. Now let's connect this to the bigger picture. The Vikings are coming off a disappointing 9-8 season in 2025. Close but not close enough. Competitive but not dangerous enough. The defense did its job more often than not. The missing piece was consistency on offense, especially at the quarterback position. That imbalance kept Minnesota on the playoff bubble instead of inside it. With Flores locking down the defensive side again in 2026, the formula is clear. Improve the offense, complement the defense, and suddenly this team looks like a real postseason threat. Think about it. An elite defense paired with even a moderately improved offense can swing multiple games over a season. That's the difference between 9-8 and 11-6. And that's why Brian Flores staying matters so much. He gives Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff a rock-solid foundation to build on. No reset, no learning curve, just evolution. Continuity is underrated in the NFL, but it's often the secret weapon of successful teams. The Vikings now have that continuity on defense, and it could pay off in a huge way. So ask yourself this. If the offense takes a step forward in 2026, how dangerous can this Minnesota Vikings team become? With Flores calling the shots on defense, the ceiling suddenly feels much higher. That's the kind of question that should get every Vikings fan excited right now. This isn't just about one coach staying. It's about belief, identity, and momentum. Brian Flores' return sends a message to the locker room and the league. Minnesota is building something real, and they're not letting it slip away easily. Now I want to hear from you. Are you relieved that Flores is staying? Do you think he deserves another shot as a head coach? Or is Minnesota the perfect place for him right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments because Vikings fans always bring the best debates. And if you're excited about the future of this defense, make sure you show it. Smash that like button, subscribe for more Minnesota Vikings news, and share this with every Vikings fan you know. Purple Nation, this story is far from over, and we're riding it together.